Hey, it's Heather at Adventures in Gardening, and if you like orchids and tropical plants, then this one's for you. So a couple weeks ago, my husband and I went on a field trip and we went to the New York Botanical Gardens, and I love to visit botanical gardens. And even though I'm in Connecticut and it is just over the line in New York, I had never been there before. Now, right now they are having their orchid show, okay, in their huge conservatory, which seemed to, it was like room after room after room. You'll see in just a minute, okay? But it just was such a great destination. But I only saw this much of the botanical garden themselves, so I will definitely be going back. But I'm gonna just do I'm gonna show you our field trip and do a commentary as we go along. It was just about a 2-hour drive, or a little over 2 hours for us to get there. We barely scratched the surface of how huge this botanical garden is. Lots of hellebores everywhere. We saw hellebores. Beautiful colors. I am not exactly sure what zone, growing zone it is, but they're definitely ahead of us. Iris reticulata growing in that garden right there. You can see the conservatory, that's where we were headed, and we really just stayed around, in the gardens around the conservatory. And you don't see too many people in any of these clips yet, but let me tell you, everybody was here. This is where they were. We had to wait in lines for everything. And they would only let so many people in at a time. This was a weekend, by the way, not a weekday.
How you doing?
All the way in, guys. This will be a one-way flow from here on, guys. Please step all the way in.
We kind of stood in lines to see all the exhibits. And it was fun. It was a fashion theme for the orchids. So they had a lot of mannequins wearing plant material, which was fun. Lots of Phalaenopsis orchids. And I'm in awe about, you know, the architecture and these structures are just so awesome. So you kind of went through greenhouse after greenhouse, following a path, staying in line. And there were orchids everywhere. They had them growing on trees, and then they had displays of them as well. You can definitely see this is a very mature conservatory. I actually don't know a lot about it, so I'll be going back when the weather is warmer to see the entire garden, because it was really nice. Lots of dendrobiums. And some oncidiums. There were a lot of everything. But all of these orchids are in the understory of the greenhouse, so they were, you know, they brightened everything up. And you can see there was like stairs that you got to walk up to, like a viewing area. I think this is either the second or the third greenhouse that I'm showing right now. So you would go to the top of these stairs, and at the platform you could pretty much see, you know, this whole greenhouse for sure. You can see into the next greenhouse. A lot of water exhibits too. Very well done. The displays were just maintained very, very well. And some of the areas, there weren't many people congregating, and then there were areas like this. There were a lot of people. Yeah, if you're claustrophobic, I thought this was a really cool plant, and I've tried to find it online. I couldn't find it anywhere. These were special ones in a glass case. They need extra special care.
It's beautiful. There's so many people. It's
I love Paphiopedilums. I've always liked them probably the most out of all the orchids. These are really cool. And especially this one. I love that. I think that is a peperonia, I think. That was cool. Miltonias. And this was the tunnel that you went out of the tropical part. I think we were underground, I'm not really sure, and then we came up into like a desert theme. Those were Tillandsias mounted there, and then you could see the cactus above, and then it opened up into like this, you know, kind of succulent cactus area. But it was just this one greenhouse that had that. And then back into a tropical area. This was just a big display of them as opposed to a natural setting in the other greenhouses where they had them on the trees. But these were really so pretty. I like that Phalaenopsis with the stripes there. And then there was this huge opening, a much bigger greenhouse here. Look at that citrus. I love the bark. The citrus was just amazing. There. It was a maximum. And then they had these like little vignettes where you could like take a picture, you know, stand in a certain color of Phalaenopsis, or you could stand with the mannequin if you wanted to. So many Phalaenopsis. Look at that, it's a skirt. I think it's a skirt on a mannequin. Everything, they were all perfect. Lots of Kokedama hanging from the ceiling. I love Kokedama.
Great.
They had tropical plants and they had the Phalaenopsis as a Kokedama.
Once a week.
That's me.
Choice for the horse skirt.
This was like, I don't know, maybe it was like a fashion show area. They had different mannequins. That one's a horse. That one's a frog. I love the Triscantia with the Phalaenopsis. And I love the color coordination. That was really pretty too. You could definitely have spent a long time photographing in this greenhouse. It was very pretty. almost out of the conservatory. We had to find a place for lunch, and there's two places to eat here, and one of them is a real restaurant, and the other is like a, you order, it's like a cafe. The restaurant, if you're gonna go, make reservations ahead of time. And then it started to rain, so we kind of just stayed in the gardens around the conservatory. So we barely scratched the surface of the gardens. We had to go buy an umbrella at the gift shop. More hellebores. Gotta plant hellebores. If you don't have them in your garden, it's so nice to have early blooms. Now some of these things I cannot have in my Zone 6 garden because I noticed that there were camellias in bloom here. We cannot grow camellias here. So I'm guessing they're Zone 7. I'll look it up before I publish. Is that a camellia? I say to myself.
Yes. Huh.
And we probably could have stayed at the gardens a lot longer, but it really started to rain. And I swear it took us so long to get back to our parking space. It must have been, I don't know, I'm probably exaggerating, but it seemed like a mile. It took us a long time in the rain, and it was cold. So that was our trip to the New York Botanical Gardens, and look it up. It is a great show to go to, and it's a great garden to visit as well. So thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this today, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.